It is Friday the 22nd. Another week almost down. I'm off today, Saturday, Sunday, thank goodness, because I am tired. I was in triage yesterday. And as many of you know, I despise triage. I am not a fan. uh, we actually had a conversation yesterday about starting to try and rotate people in and out rather than having one person do triage the whole day, because a lot of places don't do that because it is exhausting. I mean, it is just a grind all shift. So we're going to have a conversation about rotating people around. So if you're joining us from anywhere else, in theory, we should be on the gram, we should be on the stack, we should be on the book. I don't know. I see the stack and the gram are up and running. We're also on my Riverside. And of course, right here on TikTok, where we love it. I do have some things I want to talk about today. I learned so much yesterday, and so did some other very experienced nurses. And so I always feel a little bit better when older nurses learn with me, because I don't feel like I'm the only one that's, you know, dumb. Although we shouldn't feel dumb, right? We shouldn't feel that way, because there's so much to learn in medicine. You can go a whole entire career and still not know everything. I did a post shift debrief last night, and I woke up this morning and it didn't publish. So it finally published this morning. I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, so we'll let a few more people get in here. I got to check to see which of the regulars have popped in. I'm still kind of multitasking over here, trying to get everything pulled up. Got my Star Wars shirt on. It's a little big on me these days, which I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Let's see. Good morning, Mike. Welcome in. Christopher, I was dying. Oh, Christopher, so sorry to hear that, man. Holly, good morning. Welcome in. You still on the road, still at the competition? Michelle K, good morning. Jonathan, could you call back report? No, I'm the ER. I'm the one that is asking other people to call me back for report. No health insurance. Oh, that's awful. Christopher, I'm so sorry, man. That's unfortunately a very common occurrence here in this country. Maxium, why did the ER give me some Tylenol for gout flare? That's interesting. Holly, the first one up this morning. Oh, where'd you go, Holly? There you are. Maybe. With the daily corgi right on time. Advice on severe peripheral neuropathy due to cancer. You got to talk to your doctor. I mean, I'm not an oncologist. So yeah, you gotta talk to a doctor about that. I mean, there's certainly medications that you can do, but it would depend on you, what other meds you're on. That's annoying. A lot of technical issues this morning. We're gonna figure that out. I gotta reboot everything after this, because we're gonna do a bonus live today as well. So we'll do something from the deck today. Gypsy RN, thanks for the daily heart me. Holly with the daily heart me. I appreciate that. Michelle, good morning. I sent you a message yesterday. I just was checking on you, see how you're doing. So let's see. Yeah, for gout flare, yeah, Tylenol is not typically the first line treatment, but again, I don't know. Like if you've got kidney problems, then that would prohibit you from getting NSAIDs. So, and there are some gout specific medications, but again, I don't know what's going on with you specifically. Holly, thanks for sharing out the live. I appreciate it. Beth Bellinger, thank you for the daily heart me. I appreciate that. Welcome to the fan club. Why does de- what does I think we got a joke here. What does a deaf gynecologist do all day? Okay. Oh, reads lips. You know who would appreciate that? Jen Hamilton would appreciate that. I'll tell you, every time I go to watch like one of her videos and it says in the bottom left corner, it says your friend. Oh, it just warms my heart. Good morning from Florida. We're getting like storms for the next 5 days. It started yesterday and it's gonna go for like 5 days. Whenever I think of I think when I've been down in Florida, like the afternoon showers and thunderstorms that pass through there. Marie, welcome in. Thank you very much for the Daily Heart Me. Alexis has a question. Fire away. JY19, JO 19, 28 years nights, and my new ER manager is trying to get me fired. That's not good. Sorry to hear that. Marie, thanks for the rose. Your opinion on gabapentin? I mean, I think it's definitely a useful medication for a lot of people. It is a controlled substance now because it's a potentiator. So what happened was people realized that they could take that in conjunction with an opioid and it would enhance the effects of the opioids. So people were having issues with that. And so as a result, there were people that were abusing that. So they had to make gabapentin a controlled substance as well. So Moose, what was Moose saying? Thoughts on people coming in for chronic illness? I look, there's a big issue with people with chronic illnesses not, especially when it comes to pain control, they're not getting probably the best pain control. Look, so chronic illness is not, those are specialties that there are doctors that manage that. ER is not, that is not our bread and butter. We need to get it better at it. And it really depends on the doctor. Some are much better at it than others. So anyway, I hear what you're saying. I know kind of where you're heading with that. And I am an advocate for people with chronic illness. My wife has dealt with chronic illness, Lyme disease. Have I ever gone to the ER? Yes. I've had acute appendicitis. Um, let's see, what else have I done? Oh, when I had the OG COVID back in March of 2020, I thought I was having a heart attack. I was having like really bad chest pain, and it turned out it was COVID pneumonia, bilateral COVID pneumonia. That's why I was having the chest pain. It's the first time I'd ever had pneumonia. It was not fun. I do not recommend. 0 out of 10. From an aspiring, yeah, this is Alejandro from an aspiring ED nurse. What's the basis? What's the basis? I don't see the rest of the question. Michelle, ugh, I have Lyme. Yeah, Lyme is no joke. And there's so many different versions of it, right? My wife ended up with like 2 or 3 different kinds, and we had to pay for out of pocket because the insurance wouldn't pay for the standard testing. Well, that's all they would pay for is the standard testing. They wouldn't pay for the more advanced testing. Spicy girl, good morning. Thank goodness it's Friday. Yep, today is actually my Saturday, but I get 3 days off. So I don't know, like pre-Saturday, Saturday Eve. Shyla Bean, I worked in med facilities for 25 years, and until COVID, I'd never had pneumonia. Oh, yeah, me either. First and only time. I hope I never get it again. Oh, basis of ED nursing, chaos. You got to learn how to work in chaos and adapt quickly and easily and be able to go from taking care of a 6-month-old to a 95-year-old to trauma patients to medical patients. Yeah. I mean, you gotta be able to take, like, from people that have infectious disease, yeah, to the people who have been, assaulted or abused by their family members. So you're gonna take care of literally anything that can walk through that door. Rob, do I drink at all? I not very often. I'm not opposed to it. I just, like, every now and then I will, but it's not something I have to have when I come home. I don't need to unwind. Sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I would really like that right now," and I'll do it, and then I'll go, like, a week or 2 and not have anything. Yeah, she is. It took about Shyla, it took about, I'd say 2 to 3 years to get her back to normal, and we had to go see some specialists that actually, kinda dealing with this whole chronic illness thing. Like, we had to go see somebody that, like, really understood Lyme disease, and it took a few years, but finally got her back on track. Let's see, Deloves. Oh, wait, what are you I don't know what you're talking about. What is your stance on the opioid epidemic? Like a real well, I mean, if you've read any of the books or the literature on it and followed any of the cases, that was an that entire thing was developed by the pharmaceutical companies, one specifically, and that led to where we are today. And of course, the FDA is also to blame for that to some degree because they bought into all of that nonsense and they didn't analyze it like they should have. So I don't, and now we're kind of like we've swung so far the other way that we're under treating pain in the emergency department, in my opinion, because physicians are so scared to get people hooked on it or whatever. Not all. Some are like, no, you've got pain. We're gonna treat that. Have you had to face the new drug supply in your state? No. No. Nah, not that I've seen. We deal with, like, the old most of our patients are older, so they like the old stuff. Think, like, '80s Miami Vice. That's what we see a lot of. Like, there's one guy that comes in, and he comes in with chest pain, and, of course, we do the whole chest pain workup, and I would say 9 out of 10 times, it's the Miami Vice stuff. And you're just like, "That's gonna cause you chest pain. You can't do that stuff. That's why your chest hurts so bad." Sab, have you ever had no, I've already talked about that one. Delubs, I was also a victim of the opioid epidemic for context. Yeah, I mean, addiction that's a medical diagnosis. And it used to be called substance abuse disorder. Now it's substance use disorder because, you know, it's less harsh, I guess. Paula, did you see any people come in for ectopic heartbeats? Sure. What is your view on death? Part of life. I think the older you are, the easier it is for people to deal with. The younger you are, I think it is more difficult. I've worked, I have done PICU, which is pediatric intensive care unit, and NICU, neonatal intensive care unit. And both of those were awful experiences. I'm so grateful for the nurses and doctors that do that on a daily basis because the short period of time that I did my rotations, that about broke me. Miami snow also causes wallet pains. That's right, Cypress. That's right. As do all of those things. Like I don't understand how people can do cigarettes. I mean, those are like $7 a pack or something, aren't they? I don't know. It's obscene how much it is. Agu. I forget how to say your name, but I'm good. I'm the start of my weekend. I get 3 days off, so I'm very excited. How old were you when you went to nursing school? I was 38 when I started nursing school. 41 when I graduated. Michelle, I do not smoke. I've never even took a drag off a cigarette, but they're like $18. Oh, I would have no clue. Sparky says 16 to 20, so that tracks. I'd have to Google it. I have no idea. And I have never used not once, used any illicit substances, anything that was against the law. I just never have. Never felt the need to. And like now as a nurse, I can't because I could get randomly tested, and we're not doing that. Your beard was all black your freshman year at nursing school. It, I didn't have a beard in nursing school. Actually, I think I had shaved it. Yeah, because most of my pictures from nursing school, I did not have a beard. I think towards the end I did. No, I graduated with a clean face. Yep, because that just popped up in my memories. Alejandro, I'm 23, looking for wisdom. Oh, I can share my wisdom is life experience. That's what wisdom is. I can share with you my life experience. Your experience may be a little different. Sometimes we just have to learn the hard way. It's like when I was growing up, my parents would always ask me why I chose to learn the hard way. Why did I not just listen to them? because sometimes lessons are learned better when you do it the hard way. How do you know someone is a nurse? Don't worry, they will find any moment to tell you. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I'm not like that. I try to fly low under the radar. I don't want people to know. I don't volunteer that information. Yes, Alejandro, I had to shave when COVID first hit. I had to shave because they were like, you got to have a good seal. You have to either have a respirator or an N95, or you had to wear a PAPR. So initially, I was like, you know what, we're not messing around. Like I'm okay with the PAPRs, but PAPRs take time to get on. So if you were having to run into a room where a patient was coding, like that takes a long time. So it was easier to put on an N95. So I shaved, and then once I felt like, no, I'll just do the PAPR from now on, and I grew it back. At one point, I had just like the handlebar, just like the fireman's mustache, and everything else was shaved. So I literally just had like this part here. Oh, Bobby's in the room. Ooh, good. I get to play the music. Bobby from Boston. Welcome to the live. Dropkick Murphys shipping up to Boston. Roger Wilco, what do you think is the most painful injury? I don't know. I have seen a lot of painful injuries. I couldn't even begin to tell you. Agu ended up in hospital again yesterday. Thankful to the nurses that let me go fast as it's normal for me to faint, and all the parameters were normal when I arrived to the emergency department. Well, that's good. I'm glad everything's okay. No, Cypress, we will not be doing that. As much as I appreciate Charlie Chaplin, I studied film in college, and Charlie Chaplin was a genius. Alejandro, if I'm being honest, handlebars were on the table, but just chop it off was simple enough, right? Deloves, oh, I say, oh, I'm not even Irish, but Irish punk gets me hyped. Yes, that's one of our hype songs. So if you're new to lives, we have a regular crew that comes in here each morning. And it's about like eight of them, and they have their own walk up song. That's one of the benefits of being here every morning or most mornings, and being an ardent supporter of the lives. I also have a podcast, which you can find anywhere. It's called Beyond the Call Light. I'm working on a couple more episodes. I've really kind of focused a lot of attention on the live streams, on the daily live streams, which has taken a lot of my time. But that's okay. We've got some interesting podcasts coming up. Michelle, better get one of those songs soon. Sure. You just got tell me which one you want, and I'll make it happen. Do you play MCR? I don't even know what MCR is. What is MCR? Is that a band? I probably know it. I just don't know the acronym. I've heard of Flogging Molly, but I don't know any of their music. But I can check them out. Delubs, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Like, I've heard of Flogging Molly, and I bet if I heard one of their songs, like, oh yeah, I know that song. Oh, My Chemical Romance. Yep, I'm familiar with them. I didn't really get into. Oh yes, Yellow Ledbetter. That's good. Anything Pearl Jam's good. They're an Irish punk band. Okay, Flogging Molly is. Yeah, I'll have to check them out. Maybe rediscover them because I'm sure I've heard of them, so I know I've heard some of their music. But I have rediscovered this. I guess what would you call like My Chemical Romance? Was that emo music? Anyway, some of those bands in the pop punk revival. So you got some of these like Paradox is a new band. If you haven't heard Paradox and you like pop punk, you would probably like Paradox. So some of these younger bands have really taken that, and you can tell it's probably from their parents' influence, which is makes me feel really old. But they've taken that and they've kind of revived it. So there's like this revival of pop punk. MCR is considered a little in between. Good morning, the Megan Marshall. Welcome in. I got to come up with something. We gotta have something else. Ooh, Amanda Donnell is in here. Good morning. Got to get Amanda's song on here. Good morning, Amanda. Amanda is currently an LPN to RN bridge student, and her world feels like it's on fire between being a full-time mom, um, working a full-time job, and then going to school. So, all the respect in the world to all the moms out there who are raising families and also going back to school. Yeah, Real Big Fish. I've heard of Real Big Fish. Again, one of those bands that if I heard one of their popular songs, I'd recognize it, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. So I'll write that down too, because I'm really looking to broaden out our playlist here. It's already up to like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, something like that. But the more variety, the better. Agu got blood test results. All was worse, even with treatment. So heading to the doctor. Good way to follow up. That's what we want to do. Streetlight Manifesto, is that a band? Okay. Y'all are throwing out all kinds. Yes, Possum Kingdom by the Toadies. Yes, I remember that. Megan, I'm good. It's Friday. I'm off. I got my butt kicked yesterday in triage. I loathe triage so much. Like I really, really dislike it. Oh, it's a Spin Doctors. Yes, I love the Spin Doctors. I still have their CD, their original CD from 1992. Two Princes was the name of it. Yep, or is the name of it. They're still making music. I follow them on TikTok, and they're still making music and playing. But I saw them and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, why are they why are they so old now?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's because we're all old because it was 34 years ago." All right, so I wanna get into some things that I learned yesterday. And it wasn't just me. There were other nurses that had never heard of these things. And now that just means I'm sure there are some of you in here that have heard of these things. And we're not judging people who don't know because medicine is ever changing and we learn new things all the time. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I need to share this out. I always forget to share. I'm not very good at self promotion. So I'm going to put it on my story and I will send it out. They've got all these tools here, the other things you can do. So here, I'll just send it out to a few people. I wonder if I can send it out from here. Yes, I can. Oh no, that's rankings. Bummer. Okay. Thank you, Bobby. I saw that. I appreciate that. All right, so let's go to the live stream show rundown. So yesterday, had a patient come in with a clogged indwelling urinary catheter. That's not unusual. We see that pretty regularly. But I went back and read the note from the urology team who put it in because we have a clinic and they can go up there and get it done. They don't have to come to the ER to have that done during regular business hours. They ordered. I read the note, and I talked to another nurse who has been doing this for like has been an ER nurse for 30 some years. They ordered the patient to use a specific dilution of white table vinegar and water to help keep it because apparently he has a lot of sediment and it clogs a lot. So they put in an order for him to do this at homes to prevent that. And of course, he doesn't do it and gets clogged. But we went through, and so the mixture has to be like the white vinegar. But most white vinegar is 5% acidic acid. And so you have to dilute it down to 0.25%. And so that's like a 1 to 20 ratio, basically, with either sterile water or saline. And then um, you have to like instill it, and it helps kind of like dissolve the incrustations, like the stuff that ends up clotting it off. And yeah, I had never seen that before. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever done that before? I know we don't stock vinegar in the ER. Maybe the pharmacy does, but no, we don't do that. It makes sense. And they can also use that a different mixture of that to sanitize reusable parts like bags and whatever. So, but again, I've never seen that. I have never really read through detailed urology notes and seen that. So that's interesting. Has anybody else ever encountered that? Oh, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Yep. I think I used to have one of their albums. I don't know what happened to it. Naughty by Nature. Do I stream on Twitch? No, I have a Twitch and I've tried streaming on there. I don't have any, there's no audience there. I know maybe if I did that, I might get some. It's also a hassle to do that. Like you've got to go to that account, you've got to set everything up and then go back to another because you can't stream directly from Twitch. You have to stream from another platform, which is kind of how it works with Substack and Instagram. You can't stream, you can from Substack, not Instagram. Instagram, you have to have the stream keys. I'd love to get a stream key for TikTok, but I still haven't gotten one yet. I don't know what the issue is. Burt McCurt, I've never heard of the vinegar solution, but that's pretty. I mean, like I went and looked it up, and sure enough, I mean, there's tons of reputable sources that have information on that. But you have to have a very specific dilution, otherwise it can be actually it can damage your insides. So you have to dilute it really good. And that might be one of the reasons they don't do it is because they don't feel comfortable doing that mixture. Because I don't think you can just buy a pre-mixed solution. You have to make it yourself. Well, and it's definitely not something we would do. So I think usually what we would do is just pull it and put a new one in, unless it was a tough insertion. And then we're like, no, we're not doing that. We don't have urology here or on call. Agu, we do the same to unclog the irrigation system in agriculture. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So the other thing that I learned, another thing that we learned is so we got a call from a dermatology office who had not ours. It was like we have care in the community for our veterans. So if we don't have a specialty, we can set them up with a community, like a dermatology office in the community, and then we will pay for it. And so we had directed a patient to an outside dermatology clinic, and they had done a test on a skin lesion that he had and cultured it, and it came back positive for E. coli. And I had never heard of E. coli for a skin infection. So we were like, wow, that's different. And so a bunch of us had to go and look it up. And so while E. coli is typically known for causing like GI issues and in even urinary tract issues, it can occasionally end up on human skin. Um, how it gets there? Well, you can imagine. It's transferred the skin through contaminated feces, surfaces, or water. So usually poor hand hygiene is the culprit. So, which a lot of our older male patients do not wash their hands after they use the bathroom. And so it's entirely possible that he colonizes it in his urine, goes to the bathroom, doesn't wash his hands, picks a picks his skin, and boom, there you go. So E. coli of the skin. Never heard of that until yesterday. And the third thing I learned yesterday, um, did I not put it on here? I guess I didn't. Oh no, there it is cutaneous. So somebody called. Um, it was again another hospital called us and said we're sending you a patient. That this patient, I thought they meant that they had done a skin tuberculin test and it had positives, and so they were sending us to get chest X-rays and rule out TB. No, it was TB of the skin. Had a wound that they cultured and tested positive for TB. Didn't know that was the thing, so I had to go back and look that up. So cutaneous tuberculosis is a very rare form of extrapulmonary, so outside the lungs, tuberculosis caused by the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This affects the skin through direct inoculation spread from an internal TB infection. It's less transmissible than the pulmonary version, but it still can be. So you still have to take all of the precautions that you normally would. You have to have um, a negative pressure room. So yeah, those are the 3 things that I learned yesterday. E. coli of the skin, TB of the skin, and using, a very diluted form of vinegar to unclog a indwelling urinary catheter. So yeah, all the things that I've learned yesterday, and I keep track of all that. I try to keep track of all that stuff. So I wrote it down and came home after work, took a shower, came down here, sat here at my desk, and worked on some of the stuff to add to the show today. Yeah, nursing school does not teach you that. A lot of those things you will just learn in your career. Oh, yeah, my live stream on my laptop is all out of whack. It says nobody has liked the live and there's only 9 people in here. So we're gonna refresh that because I don't think that is accurate. So I'll miss some of your comments and I apologize for that. Bobby, have a great day. Thank you for stopping by as always. Good to see you. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Oh man, it's loading up everything. Strangest diagnosis? Oh gosh. I'd have to think on that one. Uh Fluffle bun. None. No. No. I am I am not I'm not a believer in chiropractic medicine. I think that's an oxymoron. High blood pressure, you seen that they could survive but it's normal to have for anxiety. Mm, I mean, I've seen some pretty high blood pressures, like really, really high that you would think is not sustainable. And for any length of time, it's really not. There are hypertensive emergencies. Slightly elevated, I don't know. I've seen people with anxiety, 160s over 110 and otherwise asymptomatic other than the anxiety's high, but everybody's a little different. You get, a 120-pound female who blood pressure may normally be 95 over 65. Their blood pressure is 130 over 85. That's really high for them. And then you get somebody who's 280 pounds and 6'6", and their blood pressure is 95 over 65. That's probably very low for them. And if their blood pressure is 130 over 80, that's probably their baseline. It could very well be their baseline. Michelle, 90 over 60. I mean, I've seen pictures of you on your profile in your posts, and like you don't look like you're very big. So I would imagine that's probably normal for you. 90 over 60 for me would not be normal. I'd be falling out. Indie Arts is 180 over or 100 over 80. Legal Nurse Lee's Jen's in the house. Good morning. I'm gonna get a wig. So speaking of weight, I stepped on the scale. I'm sorry, Lizzo. Did not mean to interrupt. Good morning. Happy Friday. It is a happy Friday because I'm off. I got my butt kicked in triage, Jen. Oh, I hate triage so much. I cannot stand it. I walked in there, I was like, there's no way it's my turn. There's no way. And they're like, no, it's your turn. Like, we looked. It's time for you to go out there. And I was like, oh, I'm just sitting out there like that little cloud with all the marks over it, all the swear words like just running through my head. I did hear about Kyle Busch. I did not see what happened. He's awfully young, 41. So I don't know what it was unexpected from what I understand. So I don't know. The beard hair. Oh no. I did a couple years ago. I grew it out. It was pretty bushy. Like, I mean, it was like, yeah. I look back on those pictures and I go, no, that wasn't a good look. This is the right trim right here. This length is good for me. Absolutely no apologies necessary. I mean, we did talk about it. I was like, "Man, Jen hasn't showed up. I didn't get a chance to play the song." And somebody's like, "You can still play it." So, I did not though. I did play it on my way to work. Said he suffered from sinus stuff for a few days. Ooh, maybe an aneurysm? If he's having kinda like head pain, some said severe illness and some said it was a cold and caused complications. Oh gosh. Yeah, 41. Like I'm not a NASCAR fan. There was a time when I worked in sports that I covered NASCAR. And I will tell you, like, I'm not a NASCAR fan, but when you're down in the pits during a race, that is a very cool experience. Like, you are right because we were literally right there in the pit recording and getting video, and I just could not. It was just you're on a big scale, and I will say when you're in one spot, like, when you're up in the stands, you can see everything, but when you're in one spot, you can't see the whole track because there's so many other things going on, and there's trucks and all that stuff, and so, like, every, I don't know, 30 seconds, you hear, like, just like so anyway, uh, Mikulin, good morning, welcome in. What was my favorite sport to cover? College football. I mean, I never got a chance to cover some other sports. We don't have college hockey here. I love hockey. I would have loved to cover college hockey. Baseball's okay. I love baseball. I play baseball, but covering baseball as a reporter, it's boring. You got to go there, get some, you know, video, but football, very exciting, is probably one of my favorite. Basketball is also fun to shoot, like, on the baseline. I had the camera and you'd be on the baseline. You get run over sometimes. McKalen. Thank you, McKalen. Oh, the Megan Marshall, your husband played college hockey? Does he still like, is he a big hockey fan? Does he still watch it, or is he, like, not really into it anymore? Like, some people, when they get out of it, they're like, "Yeah, I'm good." But, yes, I did hear about, Kyle Busch, Elmira. We were just talking about it before you popped in here and trying to figure out if we had any more information. Thank you for the Daily Heart. I appreciate that. What position did your husband play? I would have been a goalie. I was a catcher. I played goalie in soccer, so I would have played goalie. I don't know. I was big and I was really good at stopping stuff. If I lived somewhere where I could have played hockey, I would have played hockey. I know it's not too late. I see all these people in their 40s and 50s learning how to play. We just don't have anywhere that we can play. The closest rink is an hour away, and I'm not to learn, you gotta do it pretty much several times a week. Don't have time to do that. If we had one nearby, I would. Do you guys have, like, a favorite NHL team? And if you say Pittsburgh, you can leave. I'm just kidding. I'm a Caps fan, so I loathe the Penguins. Although I have become a fan of, Sidney Crosby as he becomes an elder statesman. The Blackhawks, duh. Alright, okay, I'm cool. Blackhawks are good. When I left sports, there was a time I did everything I did with sports. I watched Sports Center, I read everything I could, and then when I left, I wasn't as into it, but now I barely watch any sports. Like hockey, occasionally watch some baseball, but hockey's about the only thing that I watch on a regular basis. That and English football. I love English football. Elmira likes hockey but doesn't have a favorite team. I'm a big Caps fan, but I'll literally watch any hockey. No, I don't watch the NBA. I cannot stand the NBA. The rules don't there are no rules anymore. It's just so annoying. Taking like 7 steps, and I feel like at this point you need to raise the hoop to 11 feet and move the three-point line back again. It's just not like I used to watch basketball mm, back in the 80s. Um, Back in the 80s, Bird Magic, that whole rivalry, the Pistons, the Bad Boys, like that was to me the golden age of my time of the NBA. And Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, that rivalry saved the NBA because they were kind of like a lower league, right? There was Baseball was number 1, the NFL, I would say hockey was probably even better than the NBA at that point. I know my face when I said the '80s. Oh, the '80s. Oh, Tony Rossi's A Short Walk from Wrigley. Oh, I love Wrigley. I got to go there 7 years ago, in 2019. Took my oldest, went and got my dad from Tennessee. He's been a Cubs fan, and I took him to his very first game at Wrigley. And so let's see, 7 years, he would have been 73. So I took him up there to a game. We stayed at an Airbnb under an L train, like under an L track, and we could walk to the stadium. It was amazing. What a great experience. Although I will say, it is an old ballpark. And I could not. I'd always heard about the obstructed view seats, and I didn't understand it until I got there. I was like, man, people pay to sit in these seats and they can't see half the game. But it is a great, if like, it's a great experience to go. My next one is I would like to go to Fenway, and if I do, we're gonna go see Bobby from Boston. Yeah, the obstructive seats are not fun. Like I'm grateful now there's technology where you can go. There's a whole website called, you know, View from My Seat. I think it's something like that, and you can actually go to, well, okay, here are the tickets I wanna get. Let me see what they look like. Now, some sites, when you buy them, they'll show you, but there's a place where you can even upload. If you go to a park, you can upload your pictures from that seat so other people can see what that view looks like. Tony Rossi, oh, hell yeah, I'm from Boston, go Sox. Yeah, I'm an Orioles fan, but Fenway is an historic park, and I do wanna go there one day. And I had the Wade Boggs card, I still got thousands upon thousands of baseball, hockey, football cards, and even NBA cards in my storage room. I got rid of a ton of them because my wife was like, "You gotta get rid of some of these. We can't have all these." So I did get rid of some because the market's not there. Now, I thought that was an investment. Those cards are 40 years old now, and I thought, well, by the time they're 40 years old, they'll be worth a lot of money. They're not. They're basically worthless. Especially some of the rookie cards I got, because a lot of those rookie cards, like Roger Clemens, those guys, all did PEDs and the cards became worthless. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, all those guys. So all those cards are worthless. So are the Bears going to the Super Bowl this year or what? I hope so. I think they've got. I mean, they made the playoffs, and that's great. I think they need to add a few more pieces, but yes, I think they have a chance. Tracy B, PNC Park has the view from the seats for every seat in the park when you purchase. Oh, that's good. I mean, I feel like in this day and age, if you're in a new park, there should be zero obstructed view seats. Like, we have the technology to design a stadium without any obstructed views. And if you are having obstructed views, that's just greed. Trying to put seats where you don't need to be putting seats. Oh, no, Jen, really? The Cowboys? Oh, why? You're from Florida. Why the Cowboys? I thought the Bears were long suffering. I mean, there are whole memes about how bad the Cowboys are. Amanda says my husband likes the Cowboys. I mean, look, we can't all be perfect. I guess the Cowboys would be more likable if they had a different owner. Jerry Jones is just a clown. And that stadium, I feel like, is a joke. Like, the way they designed it with the sun, like, always in their eyes. Okay, so there's something to be said for that. Not a fair weather fan, but how did you become a Cowboys fan if you were from Florida? That's what I'm trying, like, just because they're America's team, is that it? Like, I'm a Bears fan because I have family in Chicago, and I used to spend my part of my summers up in Chicago, and so they would always take me to training camps and buy me all the gear. Oh, sorry, my mom's whole family's from Texas. Oh, there you go. Sorry, didn't see that one. Look, I'm, like, hyper focused, one thing at a time. I cannot multitask. My so it was my godparents, and they live in Palatine. Now, they are actually my great aunt and uncle, but 40 years ago, they were in their 40s. So they were my godparents back then. 40 years ago, I thought they were old as dirt. They were like 40. Um, and then my great uncle, he passed away about a year and a half ago. He had had a series of strokes. But my aunt, she is feisty as all get out and doing well, and she's a wonderful human being. She still sends birthday cards to me, my kids, and remembers them. So yes, she's an amazing human being. Her son and I are really good friends, and his kids are amazing. It's weird to see that his kids are all grown up. I remember when they were all little, and they're all like in their 30s now. Because he's a little bit older than me, so his kids are like late 20s, early 30s. But she still lives in the same house as she did back when I was like 10, when I would go up there. Travis Clark, good morning. Plans for this holiday weekend? Yes. Well, we do have plans, but the weather doesn't look like it's going to cooperate. So my uncle is a cardiologist, and he has box seats, skybox seats for a minor league team in Lynchburg, Virginia. And so we go up there on Sundays that I'm off, and they have a home game. We go up there and sit in the box. He gets the box because 2 o'clock games. It's always a 2 o'clock game on a Sunday, and it's usually hot in the summer. And he doesn't like to sit in the sun because his season tickets are on the third baseline, which are in the sun for the entire game. And he's like, nope, not doing that. So we got a box, and so on Sundays we go sit in the box. It's catered. We're in the shade the whole time, and we have a really good time. Oh, Mr. Clean's in the house. Good morning, sir. You're off today, aren't you? I thought you said you were off today. All right, Jen, have a great day. This weekend, I'm going to take a look at the starter pack that I bought from you, and I'm going to take a look at it. I'm looking forward to it, and I will. If I have questions, I will reach out to you. Uh, let's see. No plans directly on Saturday that I know of. Today, the kids have school. My wife is working. I am not. And I think we're just going to try and stay dry because it's supposed to be thunderstorms all weekend. So we may not be able to go to the game on Sunday. Mr. Clean's song's my favorite. Yeah, that's a good one. He's the one that started all this because every time he'd pop in, that song would come in my head. I didn't know who sang it. I just remember hearing a meme on TikTok about it. So, and I was like, that'd be every time I think when you come in here, that's the song I think of. I was like, oh, we should have walk up songs. And then it just kind of took off from there. Getting ready to leave this morning. Oh, that's right. What are you like? You're going on a trip this weekend? You don't have to share. I feel like maybe I forgot. It's possible I forget stuff. Brianna, my son just graduated from college in Lynchburg and commissioned in the Air Force as a flight nurse. Oh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations to him. I'm a VA nurse, so maybe one day I will see him. Oh, so here's my advice to anybody who has family members in the military. Head into the beach house. Oh, nice. I hope you have good weather for it. So if you have a family member who is currently serving in the United States Armed Forces and is expected to get out anytime soon, the advice that I received from the veterans that I work with who served and now work for the VA, what they have told me, and I've looked this up and verified this, as of now, and this could change in the future, so you got to just stay on top of it. But as of now, if you have somebody who is what they call separating from the military, you are honorably discharged or you are not dishonorably discharged. As long as you leave in good standing, what you want to do is if you have another job lined up, put a gap between the time you separate and the time that you start your new job in your civilian life. The day that you separate, you get your DD 214. That's a very important document you got to have. You take that, literally leave the base with that paper in your hand. You go straight to the nearest VA hospital and you go to the registration folks and you say, I need to register for benefits. They will get you to the right person. Your income is zero. You do not have a job. That is what they're going to base your eligibility on, is your income level. Because if you already have a job lined up, you start your job and like, I'm gonna go down to the VA and try and like apply for benefits now that I'm out of the military. They're gonna be like, well, you have a job, like you have insurance, health insurance through a private employer. You're not eligible. That's what happened to the veterans that I work with. They had jobs lined up. They come back to the VA and they're like, oh, well, you already have a job. You're not eligible for those benefits. Now the difference is if you are injured in the military, like let's say you're, 101st Airborne and you've done a lot of jumps and now you've got knee pain, back pain, and you've had that documented, you can be service connected for that. So anything dealing with your back or your knees, the VA will pay for. Other stuff, like if you come in for like an ear infection, you're going to get a copay just like you would any other hospital you go to. But by doing that, you are entitled when, if you go and get benefits, then that entitles you to go to any VA hospital, any clinic, anywhere that there's a VA. So that's what I recommend. And I encourage you because things change, especially in the current economic and political environment. I would always go to the official va.gov website and search the eligibility requirements. I did that after I was told that and verified it. Yep, that is indeed true. I shared that out. I share it with everybody that I talk to. There was a young lady, I was at the orthodontist with one of my kids, and there was a young lady next to me, and she was in high school, but I think had getting ready to graduate because she was talking to, and I'm literally like sitting right next to her. It's kind of tight. And she had said the clinician was asking her, like, what are you doing after graduation? She goes, oh, I'm going to boot camp. And so there was a lull where she was waiting. And I said, excuse me, ma'am, I couldn't help but overhear that you are going to boot camp soon. And at first I was like, first of all, congratulations. Thank you for your service. I appreciate that. And she was very, very nice. And I said, I work at the VA hospital. Is it okay if I give you some advice? And she goes, oh, yeah, that'd be great. So I told her that. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. So I said, now, I don't know how long you're going to be in, and things may change by the time you get out. But these are things that I would just make sure you are aware of because I want them to be in, I want them to get the benefits they've earned. And the VA can be a little sneaky with that. So because they're really going to push you when you are planning to separate. Like, let's say you're not re-upping after your 4-year commitment, and they're going to really push you to find a job. They're going to help you with, oh, we got to get you out there and work in and translate all this into a civilian job. Just, I would say, put a delay in there and reach out to other veterans who have gone with this because they know better than I do. Willie Stone is a retired ED nurse. Appreciate all that you. How many years do you do that? Brianna, my husband, deals with the Durham VA down in North Carolina. Okay. Do the veterans' families? Do you have the veterans' families at the hospital too? I mean, they come to visit. They're not eligible for benefit. Like they can't be seen unless it's the emergency department. The emergency department is open to the public. Everybody that walks in there that wants to be seen will get a medical screening exam, just like any other hospital. EMTALA rules apply to us. El Massey, good morning. Welcome in. Okay. I didn't know if it was like the union, you know. So, if let's say you and your husband came to my VA and he has an appointment and you guys are walking up and you lose your balance or you trip over something and you do a header on the pavement. You're going to come into the ER. We're going to treat you. And then they'll just take your insurance information like they would anybody else, like at any other hospital, and they would bill your insurance for that. But we would still treat you. Now, if you ended up having, like, say, a brain bleed, God forbid, we don't have neurosurgery, and even if we did, you're not a veteran. We couldn't admit you to the hospital for that. We would have to facilitate transport to another hospital. And that has happened. Like we've had many times we've had family members fall or have having chest pain while at the VA, and then we treat them. And then if we have to ship them out, we'll ship them out. Sarah Jean says ER nurses saved me. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad they did what they were supposed to do. Is it MD Irenzo? Is about to clock in for shift ICU pharmacist, and we appreciate you nurses, and I appreciate the pharmacists, especially when you improve my meds in under 5 minutes. Willie Stone, I got lucky and was out right before the pandemic started. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that was a good time to get out. I've said if there's another one of those, I'm out. I'm not doing that again. Nope, I barely made it through the first one, like, literally barely made it through alive. Not doing that again. I will walk away. I will find another job. I will change careers yet again. Is there a hospital nearby? The VA one. I cannot imagine the stress of training. Oh, sure. We have, 2. We have a level 1 trauma center and a level 2 trauma center. The level 2 is, like, a mile away, and that's usually where they go unless they need something super specific. Because I don't think that one has neuro trauma, like neurosurgery. So, we would we would send them, and that one's probably a 15-20 minute drive. It's not really that far, it's just a lot of traffic. If they went lights and sirens, they could get there a lot faster. Sarah Jean, I came in with septic shock. Oh, that's not good. 50 over dead. What are we doing here? TikTok. It looks like it wants me to do the thing, the puzzle piece, but it actually hasn't done anything. There it goes. It's really weird today. Very slow, not responsive at all. There we go. Nope, that didn't work. All right, if I disappear, it's because TikTok's being weird. Okay, good. I can move a puzzle piece. Nice. Uh-oh, chickens are awake. The rooster, you have a rooster? Is that how you know? Or is there something else? D, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Sarah Jean, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. So I live stream most weekday mornings, depending on kids and obligations or whatever, but most weekday mornings at 6:30. Occasionally we do some afternoon or mid-morning lives. We'll do one of those today. I'm not sure what time. Um, and we'll do that from my deck. That's where I started doing my lives about a year ago, and then built this studio down here in my basement. Willie Stone, I work at a VA hospital. Mega Marshall, I got rid of my roosters. I just have a lot of them, and randomly they call, surround my. Oh, gotcha. Are they like free range? Like, aren't you worried about like critters getting them? I just ate and my blood pressure dropped. Oh, yeah, I'm not, man. I'd have to read up on that. I'm not well versed in dysautonomia. Oh, yeah, I don't give out specifically where I work. No. It's the internet. I don't trust everybody. I don't trust most people. I have trust issues. Sarah Jean, thanks for liking live. I appreciate that. They're free range, go in a barn at night. My goats are free range too and keep oh, there you go. Very cool. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having chickens, but I get vetoed. Not allowed to have chickens. My kids would love it. They would love it. Mr. Clean, I work in the woods. Yeah, I mean, we're backed up to woods. So we have all kinds of wildlife. Opossums, raccoons, black bears, get a lot of black bears. I don't know a lot. I just know I see them on the cameras at night walking through. A lot of deer, occasionally fox, a million eggs. Oh my gosh. See, that's the thing. I would just love to have the eggs. What do Sarah Jean, what do you think of the ECGs? I have one. I think they can be good. Mainly they're to detect AFib because it's only 2 leads. So basically it's your lead 1 and 2, which is right arm and left arm. So you're only looking at 2, where it was when we do like a full EKG, that's a 12 lead. So there are 10 cables and there's 2 augmented leads that kind of like use a mathematical equation to interpret those leads without having a physical one. So you're only seeing, that's why they'll tell you like we cannot detect heart attacks. Um, it like if you know what you're looking at, but again, you're only seeing 2 leads. It's possible to see, you're not seeing precordial leads. You're only seeing limb leads, and that's not a full picture. But it's good for monitoring your heart rate, and some of them can detect SVT. I've had a couple runs of that where my watch alarmed and said, "Hey, your heart rate's really fast right now." And then I'll go and I'll look at it and I'll look at the rhythm. I go, "Oh yeah, it's a little fast." And then it goes away. So I think yes, In certain circumstances, they can be good. The Apple Watch, which I don't use Apple Watch anymore. I still have one. I just can't take the battery life. I was having to charge it like at least once a day, and that's inconvenient when you, especially when you're traveling. So I ended up getting a Garmin Venue 3. Absolutely love this watch. I've had it for over a year. The battery life lasts like 2.5 weeks at least. And it'll be like, oh, you only have 15% left. You're gonna last another 5 days. I'm like, holy smokes, that's great. I love that. Now, the one thing that the Garmin watches cannot do that Apple Watch can do is the fall detection. So if you have an older family member, like who lives alone or spends time alone, that's a really good one to have because if they fall and they do not, and it says, hey, we've detected, the watch will say, I've detected a fall. Are you okay? Did you fall? If you did fall, you can say, yes, I'm okay. Or if you don't respond, it will automatically send out an alert to whoever your pre prescribed contact is. Mine said AFib last night, but it was after nebulizer treatment. So I just waited. Yeah. So, and I'm assuming there's an albuterol treatment, and that can cause your heart rate to go up. So, bees, Willie Stone says bees are pretty cool and easy. Yes, I've lots of nurses that I work with are beekeepers. There's one doctor, three nurses, and one of our techs are all beekeepers. So I have an infinite supply of honey. So, and they give me the family and friends discount. And it's good. So if you can get local honey and you have allergies, it's really good. It kind of helps with your local like your allergies because they're using local allergens, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Ames, good morning. Welcome in. Reporting for duty. Troll Patrol. Speaking of trolls and gremlins, have y'all seen the new shirts that I'm working on? I posted like a little teaser of it. Sheza, thank you. I appreciate you. Megan, Marshall, which watch do you have? Apple Watch, Garmin, something else? Fitbits. So Ames, antidote for heparin, protamine sulfate, which is salmon sperm. Pretty sure. Oh, the Apple Watch. Yeah, the battery life. I can't. I've had 2 Apple Watches and I just cannot take the battery life. It drives me bonkers. Ron, what's up? Is Bigemini normal? Not for me. No, it shouldn't be normal. That means there's some underlying issue going on. Is it necessarily like an immediate life threat? Not necessarily, but you should, if you have that, your cardiologist should be aware. We give protamine after every procedure at work. Really? What based on what? I'm not familiar with that. So, Megan Marshall, how long does your battery last? Does it last 3 weeks? Because mine lasts 3 weeks with between charges. I know yours doesn't. 0. But like my Apple Watch, like when you first get it, 18 hours, like you can go a day and a half. Not even a day and a half. It's 24 hours a day. It would last like maybe 18 hours. Yes, squirrel. I know. Oh, after heparin. Okay. That makes sense. Oh, one of my colleagues had to give Kcentra for the first time. Yes, I have a Garmin Venue. Ari's in the house. What's going on, Ari? Are you working today? Ari, our favorite nursing student, 50% a nurse. One more year to go. Everyone keeps telling me to get a Garmin. I love my Garmin. And honestly, the features that the Garmin doesn't have, that Apple does, I don't even miss those. I don't use those. Fall detection, it doesn't have fall detection. I'm okay. I'm not really at risk of falling. Maybe when I get older. Ron did his first conscious sedation last night for us. What did you use? Did you use the K? Says the workout tracking is so much better. Yeah, so my workout tracking, it connects so much easier to, like, my Peloton bike. Apple, I'd have to, like, I'd have to, like, touch my watch to the screen to get it to activate, and it didn't always work. The Garmin, as soon as I turn on broadcast heart rate, it automatically connects to anything that I need it to, and the battery life is great. And it does, like, I can still tap to pay. I can use my watch to pay for things. So, yes, it's still for me, it's great. Whatever functionality I lost with this, I don't miss it, and I didn't use it. Ames got to sleep in today. Nice. Yeah, I got a solid 6 hours the last 2 nights. And here's the amazing thing. Normally, I listen to meditation, like Peloton has a great meditation series for sleep, and I just put that in and I'll fall asleep. The last 2 nights, I've not done anything. Like, I didn't even put my eye cover on. I just literally laid down and went to sleep on my own, no medication, didn't have to use melatonin or anything, and that's great. Like, I n oh, 2 dental fillings today. Yikes. I'm grateful I've never had any fillings, never had any cavities, brush really good. Got a water pick. Anybody use a water pick? Those things are amazing. I can't believe I've waited this long. Water picks are great. So Ames, I'm back on track. Nobody asked me any questions. Don't distract me. I got to focus. Ames, have you ever heard of using a combination of vinegar and water to unclog a urinary catheter? Saw this in a urology note for a Foley that was put in, and the patient was sent home, and the instructions said to use a specific concentration, like a 1 to 20 of tabletop white vinegar and sterile water or irrigation saline, and to instill it to help keep it from clogging off, like with sediment. Never heard of that. And there was another nurse who has been a nurse for a long time who had never seen that before. The other thing we learned was that tuberculosis can be cutaneous. We had somebody get direct admitted. It didn't come to us, but I heard that a patient was getting direct admitted for cutaneous TB. I didn't know you could get it in the skin. Still can be contagious, but not nearly as contagious as the uh, pulmonary version. And then E. coli infections of the skin, usually because of poor hand hygiene. So anyway, those are the 3 things that I learned yesterday. And it was normally it's like one thing, and yesterday it was 3 things. So I was both happy and like, oh man, I feel like there's so much I don't know. My daughter Millie is waving at the screen. Hi, Millie. I have heard of cutaneous TB, but not yeah. And I looked it up, and it's a thing. It's got to be a 0.25 percentage solution. And Ron says, I believe the vinegar trick. Nurse told me that Coke works too. Yeah, I've heard of that, but I've never seen it done. Water picks are nice. Yeah, but it has like a dial. Like you can adjust how powerful you want it. You can go like really low or really high. I do it right in the middle. That seems to be good. I don't do it every day. I'd say like maybe 4 times a week. I floss pretty regularly. My hygienist loves me because I take really good care of my teeth. Oh, she was so happy. Oh, good. I'm glad. Kenny Nash, good morning from West Texas, El Paso. Welcome in, Kenny Nash. Good to see you. I guess it's been a while. I always like when I can like share something new with Ames. Oh, love this. All right, who sings it? Any of the younger crowd know who this is? I know my peeps know. Yes, just floss the ones you want to keep. All of them. I'm keeping all of them. I only have 2 fake teeth because I was born without them, and I had a really good dentist years ago who did some bridge work, and yeah, you can't even tell. Can I share my workload with y'all? I don't know. Can you outsource that? If I can do it from home, I would. My favorite NASCAR. Oh no, he was your favorite? I don't follow NASCAR. I mean, I know the Bush family name, but yeah, 41 years old. That's awfully young. I'll be curious to see what happened if they ever release what happened. I'm sure they will at some point, but that's a private family matter. I know he's a public figure, but the family's got young kids too. Like, that's awful. I feel bad for that family. Kenny Nash, my dentist told me that as a kid. Same here, 2 implants. I was not eligible for implants. I wanted to do the implants, but the way my teeth, like the roots were, they were like, "No, we can't put those the studs, we can't do the studs in there. It's too close to the nerves of the other ones." So, I had to do bridge, but he did a great job. Like, every time I go to the dentist, if there's a new technician, they're like, "Who did your bridge work?" And I was like, "Oh, this is, like, Doctor so and so." I don't think he doesn't even work here anymore. He's moved, I think. And they're like, "Man, he did a really good job. That's one of the best bridges I've ever seen." So, I'm like, "Oh, good." Now I'm kinda sad he's not here anymore. So Eddie Vedder is singing, but there is another one. Did anybody say it yet? No cheating. Don't use what was that one app? I forget what the name of the app was where you could just listen to it. Now you just built into your phone. How long does it take for Mag to work for Torsades? That's a good question. I have to look at the onset of action for Mag. If it's IV, I imagine it works pretty fast, usually within a few minutes. Um, Onset of action for Mag sulfate for Torsades. Yeah, immediate. Like as soon as it hits, should address the arrhythmia within like 1 to 5 minutes after an IV bolus. So yeah, anything IV is going to work pretty quickly. That's why we give it. All right, so this is Temple of the Dog. I know the old school folks like me know who this is. So Temple of the Dog was like a joint venture between primarily Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, and it had both Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell singing vocals, and then members of each band playing. They have a whole album. You should check it out. If you have a streaming service, you should go listen to it. It's a great album. And this song, apropos to today's current political environment, it stands the test of time. Yes, Big J's Smokehouse. Ooh, do you like? Are you do you smoke meat? I've got a smoker. I've got a Traeger Ironwood XL. I can do like eight pork butts on there, 8 pork shoulders at a time, and I'm all about the Texas style. Like, I've tried other styles, but I'm all about the Texas style. Do they give nurses a psychological evaluation before giving them a license to work with people? No, we don't have psych evals. So come to Texas. No, too hot. No. It was 92 degrees here 2 days ago, and I thought I was gonna melt. And I've lost 45 pounds, and I can't stand the heat. Now I don't sweat as much. Like, I did take a walk in it, and I was not, like, profusely sweating. When I was heavier, I did. No, that's too hot. Anything over 85 is too hot for me. I do think, yeah, but Ari, you're little. I am not little. I'm littler than I used to be, but I'm still 6 foot 170. The nurse in charge of the kids at that Texas camp. Oh, I saw that. They suspended her license. Um, yeah, I've not read the full story. Um, Ari's 5'5", 110. Yeah. So yeah, so you're like you dissipate heat pretty quickly, I think. I have not read the full details of that story, but the fact that she wore so many hats seemed like she was stretched awfully thin. Um, so I'm not really sure. Like, it's one of those taking an unsafe assignment. That's kind of how I viewed that. Like, that was an unsafe assignment. I think the big issue is that she didn't report because there's a state law that says you have to report any deaths, like as the primary medical person there within 24 hours. She didn't do that. That's a big issue, right? And for that alone, I think is probably what really led to that. But taking an unsafe assignment, which I don't know if that played a role, but that seems like all the roles that she had at that camp, it seemed like that should have been spread around to more than one person. So I think she was probably spread too thin. But that's a decision that she made. She agreed to take all that. Ari says, I love the heat. So she was the nurse, the primary nurse. She had, like, 6 roles at that when it really should have been spread out. Oh, that's right, and she left while there were still kids there. That's what it was. Yep, that and not reporting. Yeah, I've forgotten that. She basically hightailed it out of there, saved her own skin. Is kinda what it sounded like. So, yeah, I'm surprised she's not going to jail. She may. Not me. Nope. I would have been in there wading through the water getting those kids out. I don't know how anybody could do that. How anybody could walk away from kids who are, like, literally facing a life threat. Mm, right. Oh, yeah, I get it, but I mean, like, I would have gotten my kids to safety, and then I would have gone back for the other kids. I could not in good conscience leave other people's kids there after getting my kids out safely. I don't know if that's what happened, but I would try and get as many kids out as I could. Now, I wasn't there. Like, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback this, but I have been in austere conditions before and have still gone back in and done things. Like, I was a firefighter. I have gone in to burning buildings to rescue people. And, like, I didn't even think about it. That's just part of the job. You wanna go in there, you wanna do everything you can to help people, and I know that that is my personality. Yep, same. I'm with you, Court. Same. I agree. Yeah, yeah. Like, we run towards things, right? When we hear panic and, chaos in an emergency department, we don't run away, we go to the source. Ah, thank you. So, ADHD brain. So I've got a 3D printer, and I 3D printed for my 10-year-old who's a big Star Wars fan, like, big Star Wars fan. He knows more about it than I ever did. We 3D printed a stormtrooper helmet from the First Order. It's a very specific helmet. So we've got it put together. We've got the padding inside of it, and we get really nice padding. And now we've got to sand it and spray paint it that glossy white. And then I've got everything else to do. I've got the visor to put in, and the next step will be ordering the voice modulator. It's gonna be awesome. So he'll sound like a real stormtrooper. Oh, well, it's that time, folks. I gotta get out of here. I gotta, make sure the kids are I think they're gonna ride with their mom today because my wife is substituting today at the school. She's a substitute teacher, and she agreed to substitute today. We're getting close to the end of the school year, and so she's gonna go sub. So I think they're just gonna ride with her, but I need to go check and make sure they have everything they need. That's right, we can keep that forever, and we've got a whole list of other things we're gonna do. Like, we've got a whole bunch of other masks. The Spider-Man mask are, like, awesome. So we're gonna be printing a lot of things. I've spent an ungodly amount of money on filament. You do not even wanna know. So, but anyway, I appreciate y'all stopping in. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. We will do a bonus live later today, so if you're around and you have time, I would love to see you in here. If not, I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll be back Monday morning. Thank you all so much for stopping in today. If you're in the path of bad weather, stay dry, stay safe. As always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, prioritize your mental health. I'm Gary, the ER nurse. So grateful for each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. And for those of you who are over on Substack, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm so sorry you don't get to hear the music. We are still working on that. Oh, look, I actually got some comments over there. Hi, Amy. Amy was over there. It was like 7:28, and then Wang was over there. I don't get to see the public chat over there very often, but anyway, just want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by. We live stream every day, every weekday at 6:30 in the morning, and occasionally some bonus lives. We'll have one later today, and hope to see you there. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.